Bum, bum, bum. Hi everybody, Glorious Eggroll here, and today I have another video, on getting Warframe to run in Linux on wine staging. This is a request from a viewer named VixNano101. He asked me a lot of questions, which I tried to answer most of them, but the more important one was he wanted to know if I could get Warframe running smoothly. He says he's seen a lot of videos and guides and tutorials, but a lot of them don't run very smoothly and tend to have like jittering or things like that. So the answer is yes. Yes, we do have it running very smoothly. So we're going to get into that, and I'm going to show you the guide. But first, let me show you a little bit of gameplay. Okay, let's go to Mantle, play now. Now, obviously, you're going to get some stuttering there while unloading. It happens in most games. Skip the cinematics here. All right, look at this. Now, some things you may notice off the bat. See how these textures here are like kind of blocky and like just kind of black blobs and not showing so well. That is partially because of the way that the shaders are rendered. It's something minor. It's still very, very much playable, but you can see like in the back here, these black blobs here. That's just because the shadows aren't rendered, like they're rendered weird. Apart from that, the gameplay is super smooth. Obviously, I'm running fine. I'm gonna run up here and kill some mans. Some guys up here. Woof. But yeah, as you can see, I'm not getting any stuttering, any screen tearing, no stopping when I'm zooming in. I mean, it runs super buttery smooth. I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, so woo, it runs. How the fuck do I get it to do this? Let me show you how. Okay, let's go ahead and abort mission. Exit. It's doing its thing. There it goes. Quit game. Alright, so first thing we're going to have to do is open here, clear this, and let's set up our wine prefix. So wine arc equals win32. We need it to be win32. The game has problems running in 64-bit mode on Linux, like crashing problems, so we're not going to use 64-bit. Next thing is wine prefix. We're going to name this one WF Steam. I'm going to show you how to do the Steam version and the non-Steam version. All of the setup for each prefix is the exact same. It's just the launch script and using the launcher is a little bit different. So I'll show you that. Let's go ahead and get our Steam prefix set up first. So WF Steam, and then we'll do wine CFG. All right, let's make sure under Applications it's set to Windows XP. Under Staging, I'm going to enable CSMT because we're using wine staging. The version that I'm using is 1.9.5, if anybody needs to know. So it recently came out, but most versions of wine staging should work just fine. So we'll do that, hit Apply, OK. The next thing we need to do is we'll do our wine tricks. And I have those here in my notes, Notarinos. Notes, hello, there we go. Copy this over. Paste. Oh, we got to do this. There we go. Now I can paste. Make sure you have your prefix set before you do this. And so we've got our Win32 WF Steam prefix set up, wine tricks. The -Q is for quiet mode. What quiet mode is going to do is it's going to make sure that everything just installs through the console, and I don't have to click a million installer next buttons. D3DX9 is for DirectX 9. Exact is for input, if I remember correctly. I could be really wrong with that, but as far as I was able to find via documents and research online, exact is for input. IE8 is Internet Explorer 8. More importantly, what that does is it installs WinINet. Now I know there's a package just for WinINet, but I went ahead and just did IE8 in case the game needs anything else from that package. The other thing is core fonts, so we got that's for our fonts, obviously, and this is a new one, VC Run 2012. Up until this last patch, which was on the 4th of March 2016, you did not need VC Run 2012, and now you do. I found this out the first time I was trying to get the game to run. It kept crashing and crashing and crashing, and through some research, I was lucky enough to have somebody that was kind enough to say, hey, you need this now. So I did some digging and found that out and got that. So set that up, let it do its thing. All right, that's done. Next thing is, you gotta do WineCFG again. Afterwards, go to Libraries and scroll down to WinINet and change it to built-in. Hit OK. And there's one we have to add as well, which is RASAPI32. Add that, and then down here change it to built-in also. Built-in. Okay. Apply. Okay. Now, I don't know if this pertains to before or after you have Wine set up, but there are some packages that you may need. And I have these right here. You will need the 32-bit packages, so you need, for Arch, you're going to need the multilib installed, or multilib setup. In order to do that, we're going to do sudo nano /etc/pacman.conf and scroll down here, and here's our multilib. If this is commented out, make sure you uncomment it. And we're using multilib, not multilib testing. You can keep that one commented, but make sure just the normal multilib is uncommented. Okay? Okay. So we'll Control O to write that out, and Control X to exit. And then we're going to update our list with sudo pacman-sy up to date. Now sudo pacman s, and I'm going to paste this giant line. We got wine mono, which you kind of need for wine. That's just the default package. There's no 64 or 32-bit binaries for that. It's just wine mono. Everything else here, lib32, these are all 32-bit binaries, or 32-bit binaries, libraries. You will need to install those. If you don't have the 64-bit versions, I recommend getting the 64-bit versions as well. It's the exact same names for the 64-bit versions, just with lib32- removed from them. So I've done this already, so it'll pop this up. Just hit yes. I'm going to hit no because I've already done it. And then for the 64-bit versions, I'll show you those as well since I've already got them here. We'll do again sudo pacman s, paste this, and obviously it's the same packages with the lib32- removed from in front of them. I'm going to hit no because I've already done it. And that will take care of your prerequisite packages that you need for Arch and for a lot of games. Next thing you got to do is we're going to set up our game launcher script. Now, what I usually do for Steam is I go to the Steam folder and I create a subfolder called Game Launchers. And then inside that folder is where I keep all of my Steam game launch scripts. Just because it's kind of like having a folder full of shortcuts for Steam. It's really easy and convenient. Okay, so let's take a look at our script here. Obviously, we're going to change this to our prefix, which was wf steam. All right, so we got our Win32, our wf steam. We got our NVIDIA settings. You can comment these out if you don't use NVIDIA. And we've got our Steam. Now notice that this has a .. in front of it. What that does is it tells it to go up a directory. Obviously, we don't have steam.exe in this folder, so if we go up a directory, it's in here, right here. Okay, so that's what it tells the script to do with that //. Then we've got the app launch 230410. Where did I get this ID? Every game in Steam has a Steam application ID. If you need to find it, you can usually Google for it, but there is a really convenient website that can do this for you. It's called steamdb.info. And let me bring that up for you. Pop open a new tab here and type it in steamdb.info. Bring this up for you guys. Boom, there it is. And if we type in Warframe, there it is, 230410 Warframe, hooray! So you copy that. It works. That website works really, really well for creating these Steam app launch scripts. Okay, so we got that. We've got that thing saved there. Let's go ahead and close that out and launch it. Go to our game launchers folder. Double click, execute. I agree. Now, before you launch the game, this is important for both Steam and non-Steam versions. You need to go to the gear here in the corner. Make sure that I obviously have these disabled so I can't click them, but make sure that DirectX 10, DirectX 11, and 64-bit mode are unchecked. Okay, those will cause the game to crash. Wine does not have full support for DirectX 10 or 11, and the 64-bit mode is kind of buggy. So make sure those are unchecked. Hit OK. Go ahead and hit play, launch the game. You're going to get a launcher crash. This always happens. You can just ignore it and hit OK or close. It's not going to affect it in any way. Wait for the game to pop up. There it is. And it's super loud. All right. So
when you are ready,
this is so loud.
to the navigation console.
It's so loud. All right, let me turn this down. Holy balls. Down volume. Down. Okay, controls. Let me put my mouse cursor sensitivity way down because that's driving me insane. Okay, and we'll put this into borderless full screen. You can put it at whatever you want. And let's just do that for now. And I'm going to show you some things to change, but more importantly, I want to show you why you change them. I'm going to put vertical sync on because I always do. Confirm. The reason I put vertical sync on is to prevent tearing. Now, more importantly, I have another video for tearing. If you get like a serious amount of stuttering, like there's some graphic settings we're going to change that are going to help a lot. But if you still get a lot of stuttering and screen tearing, I have an nvidia guide that helps to stop screen tearing completely in a lot of the games that you run, especially through Wine. I will put it right up there whenever I finish uploading and editing this video. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the game and I'll show you some of the graphical errors and how to fix them. I need to change this to single player mode. Solo. Mantle. Play. Now keep in mind, I don't play this game very often. I think I've played it maybe once or twice, although I've recently really enjoyed it. I don't think I ever played this game for more than 5 minutes before this request, and I actually ended up really liking the game, so I'm probably going to play it more often than not. But yeah, okay, so stuttering. Alright, right off the bat, you can see we got some stuttering there. We got our black textures, and our black textures are not only still there, but they're there, and they're way blobbier than usual. Okay, and you can see it's really dark, not like how it was in the first part of the video. We'll go down here, and I'll show you some more of this stuttering and how badly it affects the gameplay. I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay, there's some stuttering there. More stuttering there. More stuttering there. Oh. More stuttering there. Obviously, it seems like, you know, how the heck are you going to be able to play it with all this stuttering? Well, let me kill these guys, and I'll show you how. Now, keep in mind, I also have this running on the SSD. Without an SSD, it runs even worse. And see how like it lights up over here, and then I turn, and it instantly goes dark, and then lights up again. That is another issue. See that? It's just like pulsing light, which is kind of screwed up. All right, so let me show you how to fix that. We go to our options here, and go to our graphics. Let's see here. We can crank our field of view all the way up. Now, the lighting pulse issue where, you know, it seems like it lights up and then goes completely dark when you turn a corner or something like that, that is adaptive exposure. We're going to turn that off. The rest of this is okay. Texture memory we can put in high. Set that up all the way up. And the stuttering is caused by trilinear filtering. That doesn't work correctly, so we're going to turn that off. I have my NVIDIA settings in my computer set to overrun the anisotropic and trilinear filtering anyway, so it overrides whatever the game settings are. But yeah, you're going to want to turn trilinear filtering off. That will get rid of a lot of the stuttering. You're still going to get the occasional stutter when the game goes to load into a new zone or something like that, but apart from like combat and movement and stuff like that, turning this off fixes it. Let's see. Motion blur tends to not work correctly. Sometimes it'll blur your character when it's not moving, which is kind of fucking weird, so turn that off. Depth of field, I turn that off anyway because by default what depth of field does is it blurs objects in the distance. Now, please tell me why on earth you would want that if you're sniping, or even just trying to see things, like, or if you imagine you're in like PvP with a lot of people, you want to be able to see all the people that are coming at you. So turn depth of field off, motion blur off. Bloom is fine. You can actually turn bloom all the way up. Some people turn color correction off. I leave it on because I like the way that it looks. Some people don't. But apart from that, the main things are adaptive exposure needs to be off, and depth of field and motion blur. Weapon trail we can turn on too. Everything else you can crank all the way up. Make sure all my settings are on. My VSync is on. Frame rate's on. Okay, we'll go ahead and confirm. Okay, and we're gonna abort the mission here and restart the client so that all those settings take effect.
When you are ready, proceed to the navigation console.
All right, launch it one more time. There's our typical launcher crash. And there we go. Let's go ahead and log in here.
When you are ready, proceed to the navigation console.
We'll go back there. Let it load up. Skip our cinematics here.
You are here on a
All right, there we go.
You must find, capture, and extract our target.
Still loading. All right. Now, notice we still have the little black textures from not loading properly. That's, I think, more to do with it not being rendered properly. I'm using the NVIDIA proprietary drivers, so that could be part of the reason. Other people that I've seen that run the game don't have this issue. Some people do, but it's not a major deal. It doesn't happen very often. So apart from that, let's go ahead and get this running. We're loading. Obviously, you're still going to get some loading staggering. For example, like when those people start talking, But apart from that, you should be fine. Let's go over here. See if we can find some guys to kill. There we go. Oh, did I turn trilinear filtering off? I don't know if I did. Make sure it's off. Trilinear filtering is off. Okay. Maybe it said anisotropic filtering to 8x. That might be it as well. Yeah, I think that might have been it. If you still get stuttering, it's because of the filtering. And this lady talking is not helping at all. That right there was because of loading. Ah! Ah, stop it! Still getting a little bit of frame stuttering. Oh, I died. Is it going to revive me right here? It is. Of course it is. Ah, I got this thing attached to me. I don't know how to get rid of it. Ah, that hurt. Options. See if there's anything else here that I need to turn off. We got depth of field off. We got motion blur off. Trilinear filtering is off. Adaptive exposure is off. Maybe HDR. HDR can tend to cause some issues as well. I'm so gonna die again. Alright, well, as you can see, for the most part, it runs pretty smoothly. And I do have my graphics cranked all the way up, so you know, if you get continuous stuttering, try turning some of the graphic settings down. It should eliminate most, if not all, of the stuttering. I may actually have to edit my NVIDIA settings and crank down some of the anti-aliasing. I don't know how you say that word. What anti-aliasing does is it filters the amount of jaggedness on objects and smooths them out. And what anisotropic filtering does is it kind of does the same thing, but for textures rather than graphic or you know, 3D objects. Let's see if I can go around here before I die. Me no wanna die. No, I don't wanna die. You wanna die. Anyway, okay, so you guys see my point now. Game runs very smooth, very playable. Let me go ahead and abort the mission here. Okay, hit exit.
When you are ready, proceed to the navigation.
Quit out of the game. All right, so the last thing I'm going to show you guys is setting up the non-Steam version, which is very easy. We'll go ahead and create a new prefix like we usually do. So we'll call this one just WF. Set that, make sure your CSMT is set up, apply, okay. Do our wine tricks again. Make sure this is not on the Steam version. You do need a separate prefix like I mentioned before, so don't try to run this on a Steam prefix, it won't work. Your launcher, basically what happens is your launcher bugs out and looks all kind of wonky. Okay, so that's set. Now, what you're going to want to do is you do need the installer from the website downloaded. So do that, and I believe mine is in my downloads folder. We go ahead and do wine CFG again after our wine tricks is set up, and we'll add those library overrides again. 32. Then edit, built in, win inet, edit, built in, okay, okay. And the way we start this is once you have the installer downloaded, this is how you're going to type it out, because you have to, basically what happens is you have to use the installer to tell it where your Warframe install is, and then after that you have to copy the launcher over, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so we got our wine arc and wine prefix set up. We're gonna do wine space, and then we're gonna do start, because it's a .msi installer. So by default, if you just try to run it normally through wine, it kind of fucks up. It tells you it's not gonna work. So you have to do start space / Unix, and then type in the name of it was Warframe.msi. All right, it'll do this. Now you have to tell it where your Warframe folder is. Mine is in mount, storage, games, Warframe. Okay, hit OK on that. It'll do this, hit agree, hit agree. You go through this all over again. Boom, Warframe's up to date. Now, obviously, we've got it running. It looks like it's just the launcher, but we did it through the MSI. Now, we don't want to use that Warframe.msi each time we want to run the game. So let me show you how to do that once that's done. Close out of it, and we actually have to go into our prefix folder, which was, for me, go to my home folder, /.wf, drive C, users, glorious egg roll, application, oh, actually no, it's in local settings, then application data, then Warframe, then downloaded, then public, then tools. There's our launcher. Okay, it's been nested. Now we're going to copy this, Control C, and then go into your Warframe install folder that you just pointed it to. Games, Warframe, downloaded, public, and now we're in the public folder, so we're going to go into a tools folder and then paste it. Okay, overwrite. And let's take a look at our script here. Now that we've got our launcher in place, this needs to be Warframe. And this one, we're just gonna say wine to tell it to run launcher.exe, okay? Literally everything is basically the exact same as the Steam version. The more important thing is making sure that you copy that launcher.exe over so that you can have your launcher script set up. Okay, so that's done. Launch, execute. Boom. There you go. And then you obviously would go in game and set up all the same settings in game that I told you to set up. All right, and just to show you, it does work. This is going to crash again. And it's super loud again. And if you're wondering about that jittering, it's because the graphics settings haven't been set up. Yeah, when you set up a new wine prefix, it's literally like a new clean Windows install, so your settings don't carry over. You just have to make sure if you're using the Steam version or the non-Steam version that you're using 2 separate prefixes, 1 for each. All right, so hopefully that helps you guys out. Like I said, there's still a little tiny bit of micro stutter here and there, but nothing that's like completely unplayable. And if you tone down the graphics, you don't have to like completely put everything on ultra low. Just like check out maybe the anisotropic filtering or the anti-aliasing and turn those a little bit lower. For high-end systems, like if you have a 970 or a 980, or I have a 980 Ti, maybe put the anti-aliasing down to 8x, and you can even go to nvidia settings and go to OpenGL settings, or what's right here? No, anti-aliasing settings, and you can change this to like 8x. And change the anisotropic filtering to like 8x, and that will probably help quite a bit. And it'll just set it to override application settings. Okay, and that should help quite a bit with a lot of micro stutter. Sometimes when you have the stuttering and you think you've already done what you can in game, it could be because of your NVIDIA settings. Just make sure you adjust as needed. Yeah. Apart from that, hopefully you guys are able to get Warframe up and running and be able to play it on Linux. And yeah. I'll see you guys next time.